Parents, if you've ever walked around our office at PwC, you oftentimes see a lot of babies and kiddos getting adjusted. This might be new for a lot of you to think chiropractic for pediatrics. Well, that's really why I wanted to do this video. I've got 4 kids. That's actually how I became a chiropractor and got involved with care for pediatrics, was my own kids. And so I was super interested in the safety and how it worked and why it was important. So whenever I get that question from parents in our office is, why are there so many kiddos and especially babies getting adjusted? The best, most complete answer is birth is stressful. Birth is stressful, birth trauma specifically. And that's why I wanted to show you these slides, parents, is because movement matters most. See, if you've got kids and you've gone through that birth process and a kiddo struggles a lot of time to nurse or struggles maybe with, turning to one side or sleeping on their back or even struggles with head shape and movement, or maybe they're just too stiff and sitting up a lot earlier than they should be. If those are struggles that are movement struggles, even though that baby's not supposed to be moving yet and is just supposed to be eating, sleeping, pooping, and being cute for you. If they're having those movement struggles at a young age, that can be associated with that birth and that delivery process. Here's the scoop on it. And I hate to dive into these details because I know they're just stressful, especially if you had a traumatic birth. But if you had a birth with a vacuum, if you've had a birth with forceps, if you had a birth that took a long time or even one that was too fast, there's probably stress there. And for a 3-month, 4-month, 5-month-old, there's not a lot of other places that stress comes from other than the birth process. So that's why we see so many kids. Now, I wanted to put this slide on the table because so many kids at that age, that movement is so little. It's just either a turn to the right, a turn to the left. It's nursing on one side. It's, sitting up or not really wanting to lay flat. It's all little movements, but those little movements build on itself. When we look at the developmental pathway for so many kids, that movement or motor system ties in directly with them being able to eat, sleep, and poop really well. And those are the building blocks for everything else that comes after it. Kids need to move better to get that fluid going for the immune system. They need to move better so that way their gut can just work through stuff and have that motility. Heck, they have to walk before they talk. You've probably heard that from your pediatrician before. So movement matters most. And that movement is so often altered when there's a stressful or complicated birth process. That's why we dig in and we adjust kiddos at a really, really young age. Now, those adjustments are super gentle and super easy because they're little. It's amazing. I've had babies that just stay asleep for me with getting adjusted. So if your babies are struggling with, eating, latching, nursing, so much of that comes from movement of the neck. And what do we know about the birth process is that there can be a lot of stress or trauma from that process that affects right up here. So if you're dealing with all of these struggles from really 3 through 8 on this slide, let's go back. Let's look at that motor and movement system. Let's look at how they're eating and nursing and sleeping and pooping and moving that through, because it probably comes from that delivery and is affecting that motor system, and we can probably help. We know that every kiddo is a little different, and we know this is probably something new, bringing your kiddo to a pediatric chiropractor. But if you've exhausted all the other options, we would love to chat about your baby. We see thousands of kiddos just around the county. Heck, from many other places in the US even, older kiddos will come see us. So we would love to take care of your kid. We'd love to dig into your case. We know everyone has a different story. And so we would love to help. If you have anything, send us a quick DM, send us a message. We would love to sit down and chat as a doc so that we can get to the bottom of it and help you and your kiddo, because we want to help them to just be happier, be eating, sleeping, pooping, being cute, exactly what they should be, no matter the type of birth they had.